Welcome to a Sim Code. If you're loving these coding tutorials, don't forget to hit subscribe and drop a like. It helps a lot and means the world to me. This program is a simple guessing game where the computer randomly selects a number between 1 and 100 and the user has to guess it. The program starts by generating the random number using the rand function and then enters a loop where it prompts the user to input their guess. After each guess, the program tells the user if their guess was too high, too low, or correct. The game continues until the user guesses the correct number, and it also keeps track of how many attempts the user has made. Once the user guesses correctly, the program congratulates them and ends. Hey, we are including the standard I/O library here so we can print stuff on the screen and take input from the user. This is the standard library that gives us the rand function to generate random numbers. We also use rand to seed the randomness. Time library. We need this to get the current system time, which will help us seed the random number generator to make the numbers unpredictable. Let's declare a few variables. Number will hold the randomly generated number that the user needs to guess. Guess will store the user's guess each time they try. Attempts will count how many times the user has guessed. All variables are integers, int, since we're dealing with whole numbers. Seeding the random number generator. Here is a neat trick. We use rand time 0 to seed the random number generator with the current system time. Why do we do this? Because it ensures we get a new random number each time we run the program. This makes sure our random numbers are not predictable. Now, let's generate that random number. Rand generates a large random number, but we only want numbers between 1 and 100, right? Now, number has a random value between 1 and 100 inclusive. Time to introduce the game to the user. We are going to print out some friendly instructions. Printf is our way of saying, hey user, look at this message. Now, we need to start the game. We are going to use a do-while loop for this. The do-while loop ensures the user gets at least one chance to guess. After each guess, we will check if it's correct. Let's ask the user for their guess. Printf prints a message, and scanf is used to take the user's input and store it in the guess variable. We use %d in scanf because the user's guess is going to be a number, an integer. Scanf stores the input into the guess variable. Now, every time the user guesses, we want to count how many tries they have made. Increment the attempts counter by 1 each time the user makes a guess. Here's where we check if the guess is too high, too low, or correct. This is done with a simple if-else block. If the guess is too high, let the user know that their guess was too high. If the guess is too low, let the user know that their guess was too low. If the guess is exactly right, the game ends here because the user has guessed the correct number. This is the loop condition. The game continues as long as the user has not guessed the number correctly. The loop keeps going until the guess equals the random number. Once the user guesses correctly, we end the program. But first, let's finish with a return statement. Return 0 is a standard way to say the program ran successfully without errors. End of the program, we are done. Now run our code. Quick reminder, if you're finding this content helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really helps me create more awesome coding content for you. Thanks so much for your support. Let's get back to coding.